Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about shoulder and elbow pain in the back squat. I've had a number of clients run into issues. I've had a lot of people ask us questions about how I've helped clients through that in the past. So I'm going to take you guys through a number of reasons that your shoulders might be hurting in the squat and a couple of things that you can do to try to get away from pain in the squat. Now, I'm not a physiotherapist, so I'm going to try to stay within my lane here and give you some things that you can try, give you a quick stretch, and go through some of the reasons that your shoulders might be hurting when you're in the back squat. Let's get to it. So in my experience, the number one reason that people's shoulders and elbows are gonna hurt in the back squat is gonna be that the weight is not balanced on their back. They're maybe holding too much of the weight in their hands, or their shoulders are in a really crappy position. So let's talk about what those things look like and what we can do to fix it. So number one, if the bar isn't sturdy on our back and is being held by the hands, it's gonna put a lot of pressure through the upper arms and through the forearms and can stress a lot of the structures in through the upper arm and through the elbow and cause pain that way. The other reason that people's shoulders specifically will hurt is if we're not pulled into proper scapular retraction and depression. A lot of times people are gonna get tipped forward like this, and then holding a lot of weight, again, is gonna kind of push the shoulder more anteriorly, which can cause some impingement and can cause things to start to hurt in the shoulder. Now, there are a couple different approaches we can take to try to solve some of these issues. The number one thing I'm gonna look at on a lot of people is gonna be playing with bar position. Now, I don't think it's as simple as this is low bar, this is high bar. I think sometimes a medium bar position is often the best bet for people. It can allow us to kind of make a bit of a hybrid bar position. I don't think the low bar needs to be below the spine of the scapula or whatever sort of arbitrary measure a lot of people have put on what's low bar and what's high bar. I think that if we can find a position that's stable, that doesn't hurt your shoulders or elbows, that allows you to perform good squat mechanics, that's the best place for you. So sometimes moving the bar up or down a millimeter or a couple of centimeters can make a very big difference, especially as it relates to shoulder and elbow pain. Now, the next thing I'll look at modifying or playing with a lifter to try to find pain-free ways to hold the bar on the back while squatting is gonna be the grip. So a lot of times moving the grip wider or narrower is gonna have an impact on how well you can place your shoulder blades and how well you can seat that bar on your back without running into issues. Now, personally, I usually start athletes about ring finger or middle finger on the rings and move them wider or narrower as necessary. I find a lot of times moving athletes narrower will help them get tighter in their upper back, but if they're not flexible enough to maintain a good amount of contraction in the upper back, they're still gonna get folded over. So in that case, going a little bit wider will allow them to maintain better contraction and better, for lack of a better word, activation in their upper back, to keep them from getting pitched forward in the squat. As well, people with generally bad shoulder mobility, a lot of times will be more comfortable with a wider grip. If grip width doesn't figure it out for you, the next thing I'll look at is thumbs under or thumbs over. Now, personally when I squat, I use a false grip, and it allows me to get a better position, I feel, with my upper back. So depending on whether your thumb is over or under can have a really big impact on your forearm and subsequently your shoulder position as it relates to the barbell. The last thing pertaining to grip that I would look at with a lifter is maybe trying to go pinkies under the bar. Now, I'm not sure why this works, but I do know for certain populations of people, this can help alleviate a lot of wrist, forearm, elbow pain in the squat. Now, I know that it's maybe a gray area in terms of its legality within the IPF, but I know for a fact that Josh Greenfield squats like this, and he currently holds the 105 world record squat. So as far as I know, it should be legal and allowed in competition. If I'm incorrect, somebody please go ahead and correct me in the comments. So if you find yourself in the position where none of these cues help you and your shoulders, elbows, wrists, whatever are so flared up that you can't even think about getting under the bar in a back squat position, honestly, just give it a rest. Use a safety squat bar, use a buffalo bar, use whatever you have to allow yourself to still get some squat stimulus in so you can maintain strength throughout your trunk and your legs without further aggravating and irritating things. Now, for those of you who have had to take that route or who simply can't seem to find a way to go through a full squat workout without flaring things up, my advice is to start doing a very squat specific stretch. And I'd start off at maybe 15 or 30 seconds per set, maybe 2 or 3 sets a couple times a week. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your grip, you're gonna set yourself up, you're gonna get under the bar, and you're just gonna hold yourself there, making sure to try to pull your shoulders back and down, open the chest up, and try to create a nice stable shelf for the bar. Now that's gonna be the most specific and transferable stretch that you're gonna be able to do. Now you need to start with a little bit of a regression perhaps if you're running into the issue where you simply cannot squat without shoulder and elbow pain. We need to retrain the shoulders, we need to retrain the structures of the upper body to hold the bar better. Now you can do that by simply adding in a little bit of volume over time, progressively overloading in terms of the weight on the bar. You can start doing walkouts and holds, but try to keep it below the level where you're starting to feel long-term lasting pain in the shoulders. Again, I'm no physiotherapist, but these are things that have worked with me and my athletes, and just sort of generally obey how we find pain-free movement and work through it. Anyways, guys, I hope that has been helpful for you. I hope I've answered some questions and hopefully helped some people back squat without or with less pain in their shoulders and elbows. If you guys have any questions about anything I talked about, if you have any other things that have worked for you in terms of eliminating those pains, please feel free to share it in the comments below. If you guys found some value in this video, leave a like on it, maybe share it with your friends and hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys in the next video.